So you mentioned, Sophie, previously in our conversation that there is no standard playbook and you have to find complementary technology strategies in mergers and acquisitions. So could you please tell us more and share with the audience on your thoughts and ideas about how mergers and acquisitions are approached and
Yeah.
what makes for some success stories? Yeah.
Yes. And I hear this back from a lot of our partners and customers that we interact with is that Northwell's approach to mergers and acquisitions is not a forced takeover. It's not like it is a very friendly, synergetic togetherness that comes.
Mhm.
And why is that? The thoughtfulness of whether it's a partnership or mergers and acquisitions at Northwell, we do it in a way where we find that the complement of culture, complement of values are very important to us. And if you have those two things, everything else is easy peasy
Yeah.
because you have similar mindsets and similar ethics of what you are trying to deliver and do in this world.
Yes.
You start with that foundation
Mhm.
and then you go into sort of the business approach. Why I
Right.
say not every M&A is the same is because depending on the type of M&A,
Mhm.
depending on the initial objectives and goals you're trying to accomplish
Mhm.
together, and then ultimately, of course, in the long term, you are looking to optimize and synergize the best of both worlds, and you learn from each other in that.
Yeah.
And so the playbook could be first and foremost is integrate the people
Mhm.
and to integrate the brand in a sense where we are one team, one purpose. We take care of each other. From there, you look at, okay, what are some of your strategic initiatives that you are investing in? What are
Mhm.
some of the risk registers and areas that we need to focus on?
Mhm.
And what are some of the longer term goals that are already in play?
Yeah.
And you have those discussions to align. How are you doing in that? How can you
Mhm.
help each other to move the ball and plan out a roadmap? All
Mhm.
starting again with the business integration objective. And from there, you can then build out what you need to do from a technology perspective to
Mhm.
accelerate and complement those objectives. Again, if there is something that is a low complexity, high return in an
Mhm.
area that's hurting, let's double down and figure out how we can invest in that
Right.
and parlay that onto future innovation and future growth and expansion. With all of that said, do not misconstrue that from my perspective of risk mitigation,
Yeah.
because first and foremost things that we also really need to do and prioritize is to ensure that the ecosystem, the infrastructure is solid, right? You have your cybersecurity posture in place, you have your resiliency in place. You want to make sure that if there you have your regulatory and compliance in place,
Yeah.
and you continue to enforce and bolster that so that it's a given. That's a bread and butter that you don't really need to think about because it's what you need to do first and foremost. And then you invest in how to target the areas that would be very important for both institutions.